G'day guys, we're on to part 6 of the Landau build, and as you can see next to me right here, there is a missing A-pillar. We need to sort that out today. You'll recall from our last video we took out a very rubbish looking A-pillar in order to repair the sill. So why don't we have a look at just how bad it is now that it's completely out and see what we're dealing with. And this here is our original Landau A-pillar. As you can see, it is incredibly rotten. The top is all missing. The outer section of the pillar is rotten as well. There's no viable repair for this, in my opinion, on the outside. I do, however, have a reasonable one off an XC. So we will be able to use our top pieces here, and we'll be able to use our outer pillar. We need to do some repairs on the bottom, but they're not too bad. Unfortunately, the inners on both of these are quite shagged. We're going to repair the Landau, which is an XB one. If we take a close look, have a look at that speaker hole and that bracket to mount the dashboard, and you can see that it's different with an XC unit. The rest of it is the same in regards to its overall shape, but also has a change where the vent goes for the kick panel as well. You can see that is smooth on the XB style, whereas it's not on the XC. And when we look at the top of the pillar, this part here folds up on an XB, as you can see on our template piece. However, the rest of this is the same on both of them. So the ultimate goal in this episode is to repair this inner, repair this outer, and join them together. And eventually, our goal is to have a pillar that goes together as easy as that. Let's do it. we've got a few repairs to do on this corner and also on this side as well. Not to worry. Peel this back and then remove this outer. Like that. Next up, we'll separate these two and then we can start making the install happen. There we are. And now, as we move on, we need to look at trimming some of these pieces. We will start with the inner. This is a little bit long, so we'll trim that to start. And then we shall trim this off and weld it on. Nicely. That's nice and straight now. Got a bit of hole here that we need to fill with weld, and this one will be all sorted. working on the main pieces. Happy days. So first up, we'll begin with our outer pillar. We need to cut a section out here and put in a replacement. That should be pretty straightforward. We'll do our bottom folded edge first, I think. Well, it fits fairly nicely now, like that. What we need to do, approximately along here, is knock it down so that it can fall into that groove there. And now we can trim it to suit. And now we can easily weld that together. Fits beautifully. And now we've got a fairly simple replacement of this piece here. Side's also fitting well now. With everything all cleaned up, it fits a treat. Better get a move on the inner pillar then. Now we have ourselves a template to trim it to size. Alright guys, so after a bit of a clean up with the strip disc, we can see what we're dealing with. We've got a lot of warpage on the new piece. This is one of the risks that we take when we're dealing with large flat pieces, but I am going to show you that it's not a big deal. We're going to use the shrinker and the English wheel to sort it all out. So let's take care of that now, and then we can do the top half. Now, first things first, we're going to trim away our excess so that we're not shrinking or flattening any material that we don't need to. And that's as easy as that. And so now, as we have a look at this edge here, that's raised up, that's raised up. It means that needs a bunch of shrinking. We're going to shrink that. We may even do a little bit extra so that when we run this over through with the English wheel, it'll all flatten out nice and straight. And now you can see after just a few quick minutes, this leading edge is a lot straighter than how it started. Let's finish it off in the English wheel. So overall, it's looking a lot better. That's actually smooth enough to fit. We'll give it one more pass with a flap disc and we'll call it done. We have a look as we fit it. That all lines up beautifully. Any little wobbles will be taken up as soon as it gets spot welded to the sill. Happy days. Let's sort this top piece out now, eh? So as we get started on the top, we're going to do a little bit of cheating here. We have this usable piece from the sample one. So we'll just copy that over onto the other side. Well, with that easily taken care of, I think it's time to fold this over and make this the correct XB style. So moving on, it's time to create this piece. This is pretty much a straight line all the way across, and this just tapers out, but there's a little kink here where it tapers out a little bit more for that circle before it comes up to the top piece. So should be pretty straightforward. Let's fold that up. Now with our basic outline, we'll use the stretchers and shrinkers and get it to match this curvature. now you can see that shape fits like a glove. Happy days. Let's get him on the new panel, eh? Alright, we can now call that piece all sorted, ready to fit. Righto guys, as we can see it's all starting to fit up nicely. If you remember, this part here is off the X seat panel and this is off the X seat panel. We're getting close to millimetre perfect with these spot welds lining up. And as we look lower down, these are the original spot welds from the lower panel and from this panel off the hardtop, and they line up as well. So we're looking pretty good. Let's get this lined up completely and then we will clip the outer panel on, because we still need to do the final fit and finish of this piece here. Line up quite nicely. Now as we sit that on the top, you can see how we need to trim that up there for final fitting, and we need to do a final along here. The final piece of the puzzle. If we look inside there, when I tension it up, those spot welds line up almost to the millimetre. So happy days there. I reckon it's time we weld this whole lot together. And so what we're going to do is run a few Tech screws through where these spot welds need to go, because we're going to do the actual inner and outer pillar together off of the car, and then we're going to bring it back in and do the final welding like that. And there we are, guys, we're finally done. To the left of me here, we have one very solid A-pillar. It's all structural now. It's a massive difference compared to what we started with. We had an extremely rusty A-pillar, extremely rusty front lower sill section. It's all sorted now. It's solid as, happy days. And moving forward, we're gonna have to take care of the firewall and floor area. So join us for next week's video. And as always, please help the channel grow. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Cheers, guys. This isn't what I was hoping for. Fuck off, will ya? Ugh. Oh, fuck this. Go on for this shit. In the bin with this pass. Oh. Good. Ah, son of a bitch. Fuck you. Oh. Fucking hell, helps if I connect the earth, doesn't it? Motherfucker. Fucking lolly helmet now. Oh, turd. Oh, fuck you, bird. Motherfucker. Fuck ya. Oh, where's the fucking hammer? Like an imbecile, I've got everything fucking ready except for the fucking hammer.